Hello, once again, Genitals, your commissioner here, Bradley J. Rogers, coming to you from headquarters as always. Here we are with week 2 down. This week, a lot of managers are going to be mourning the loss of their favorite children, as almost all of you have lost at least one starter either last week or this week. But thank God for the IR rule that I had put in this season, so take advantage of that for those of you without season enders. But let's get into the only league that matters, ours, and the only matchup featuring winning managers from last week is Toph and Bread face off. This is your week 2 breakdown. Well, another spanking at the hands of Bread. I believe by the end of the season we will need to reprimand this man for his actions against every other team in the league, but that's a lot of paperwork to do, so I'm going to wait on that. Bread once again is thrusted into victory by a sensational QB play, as both of them put up 30-plus points to solidify them both as the top 2 QBs in the league. But Bread's win was not solely won by them, as Bread's sleeper pick of Ridley, Monsert, God rest his soul, Taylor, and Diggs. I mean, who would have thought that after the draft that this crew would be the only 200-plus team in the league, and it's not even close. But enough about that. Now, both of these managers will need to fill spots as both lost good men to injury this week. Toph will be looking for a bell cow to replace C-Mac for 6 to 8 weeks and might need to think about shipping Watson before it gets too bad. But with solid work from Robinson and Gibson, he might have an easier time, but we will see. Bread will try to fill his ungodly flex position and hopefully Green, Brown, or Johnson to fill that void left on his heart and his team. Wow, things are not looking good for manager Polk as his team and his dreams get crushed this week as he loses the number 2 overall pick Saquon for the remainder of the season. But the injury was not the only heartbreak that he endured this week as his team just underperformed. Adams drops off from an unreal week 1 performance with an awful 5.1 game. His QBs aren't looking as hot as Jimmy G goes down to injury, and Wentz is on a sorry Eagles team. Tampa Tommy doesn't seem to be well adjusted to his new system. It's just not looking good for you, Polk. But let's transition to Polk's opposition. Nick's team looks to have gotten even better with Eckler now after the trade rape of Gav. Every single one of his guys goes off for double digits. Kyler is looking absolutely stunning in his sophomore campaign, and with Sanders back from injury carrying the rushing of that god-awful Eagles team, it might be time for Nick to thrust Fournette into a starting role. Big things are looking up for this man. Cut, copy, and paste as Colby only loses slightly worse than he did last week. But with another stellar performance from Dak, as well as Kareem looking back to form, and DK making a legitimate case for wide receiver 1 in Seattle, things are looking a little bit brighter. But it was not enough to cover your ass this week. Campbell and Kittle's injuries will be hard to replace, especially with that lackluster bench at your disposal, Colby. But this is a tale of 2 teams, as one can't seem to win while the other can't seem to lose. Dylan's team looks to be the clear favorite in the West as he cruises through Colby, as most people do. Matty Ice overperforms in defeat, as usual, and his tight end eats all over a broken Eagles defense. While Tannehill goes off against a divisional rival with 4 TDs on their head. With only 1 injury to speak of in Thomas, Dylan's team looks to be on the right track for divisional domination. From last place last week to coming for Bradley's neck, Gav's team has taken him down from his 1-win pedestal. But the real story here is how legit is Aaron Jones, running back 1 after 2 weeks? Will his success continue as the season goes on? Is he Gav's golden goose? Well, we all know who isn't, Le'Veon Bell. But I'll stress this once again, Gav. Start Minshew over Drew Fart in the Breeze. Moore had a little bit more chemistry with Teddy this week, so we'll see if that continues. But right now, I've got to give a little advice to my brother by namesake. Stop being a homer. The Falcons will only disappoint you. Colby has learned this over the years and has sworn an oath to never draft a Falcons player ever again. Todd Gurley was the prince that was promised, but in Dan Quinn's sorry excuse for a playbook, he really has no use for him. Quinteris Jones still thinks the end zone is a portal to the underworld, and Zach Ertz might be shipped out of Philly with his QB. And with Will Fuller giving you less points than there are people named Will Fuller in his family, I'd rethink your lineup and get back up for our namesake. Bradley's new name is 20-Point Blower, Falcons Are Us.